I think.
Okay, it's coming up to 10 o'clock. I assume that probably a few people will join us as we within the next sort of 5 to 10 minutes. So maybe it might be a nice way to start, just if everyone could present themselves briefly. So can I just check everyone? At the moment we have Helen, Ken, Lisa, Max, Mohammed, Pascal and Rachel with us. Is everyone hearing the quality okay?
Yes, perfectly.
Yep, I think we've got taken by the name of Ramon as well.
Ramon, yeah.
Yes, I'm hearing very well.
Okay, perfect. Well, let me start. My name's Nick Tucker. I run Teaching Man's Fish, which is an international NGO focused on vocational education, specifically trying to link enterprise with vocational education. And we've tried various initiatives using ICT, see great potential for it, and are therefore very excited to be helping to facilitate this conference. I think while people are joining one at a time, maybe if we could let people can just say a little about who they are, who they work for, and what their interests are. Okay, maybe we move on to Rachel.
Hello everybody, my name is Rachel. I work with Teaching Man's Fish and I've also been helping out with facilitating the conference. I've also been working with technical and vocational education and training, mostly in Central America, for 2 years. So we're very interested to see all the possible uses that ICT could have for this. So it's exciting to meet everybody.
Okay, and if we move on to Helen.
Hi, my name is Helen Mahoney. I'm working in Ballyfermot College of Further Education in Dublin, and our college is in a partnership with Evelyn Holmes College of Applied Arts in Lusaka, and we're working together on the development of new courses in particularly the area of creative digital media within the vocational sector in Zambia.
Okay. It's very Helen. Where are you based?
I'm based in Dublin in Ballyfermot College of Further Education. I'm working with a college in Lusaka in Zambia.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So in Ireland. Fantastic. Yes. Thanks, Helen. Great to have you. Jyoti B. Can you hear us, Jyoti?
I think we're still signing in.
Okay. If we want to Ken. Ken, can you hear us? Mm-hmm. Okay. Ken, can you hear us? If not, let's try Jyoti again. Jyoti, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear.
Hi, Jyoti. Could you briefly present yourself and your organization and your interests to the other people as part of the e-conference?
Hi, I'm Jyoti. I'm actually a faculty here at UNESCO-UNEVOC in India. And I'm teaching at uni. We have a rural center in Kabul, which does a lot of special training for the rural dropouts, especially on TV technology. And we use a lot of technology, digital tools. I'm like a senior teacher education, so I more in the formal education, and I've been into online. So I've been more interested in professional development of the teachers with our clients. And so that is one of the reasons I'm here in this.
Okay, wonderful. I'm not sure if other people found the same, but I found your volume was very, very quiet. So maybe if there's any way you can adjust that, hopefully that may just not be me.
Yeah, it's same for me. The volume was very good.
Yeah, so Johnny, if you pump up your microphone. I think throughout this conference call, and this is the first time I think that these virtual forums have used the WebEx technology, we're going to discover a lot ourselves just about the possibilities and the difficulties of using this technology. So apologies in advance if you find that we lose people or sometimes you can't hear people. But this, the technology is brilliant when it's working well, but often there will be some small problems. So, okay, I've just seen a message from Ken that he can't have a full audio because he's working on some other things at the same time. So maybe if we move on to Lisa to briefly introduce yourself and your interests.
Hi everyone, my name is Lisa. I am at UNESCO-UNEVOC International Center in Bonn. Thank you all for joining today. This is really great, and for us as well, a test to see how this works. Here at UNEVOC, I'm responsible for the communications and the online services. So I'm really looking forward to learning more about the ICT tools out there. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thanks, Lisa. And Max, who I think is the secret controller for this conference, who's turning on and off our microphones so that we can make sure everyone can have a chance to speak and be heard. Max, can you briefly introduce yourself?
Yes, hello, good morning. Thank you. So I'm Max. I've been working with Lisa here in UNEVOC for a couple of years already. And yes, I'm to take the blame for everything that doesn't work here on a technical side. One thing that doesn't work is the webcams. I'm sorry for that. It seems we asked someone to provide their WebEx account, and it looks like the way this WebEx session was initiated, there's no way to use our webcams. But we'll be able to share desktop and applications, so that's fine, and I think the audio is quite okay.
I mean, it's a shame to not have the webcams, but sometimes they cause a few problems with the bandwidth anyway, so hopefully we'll be able to hear each other much better even if we can't quite see each other. So moving on to Mohammed. Mohammed, could you briefly introduce yourself, your organization and your interests? Mohammed,
I think Mohammed doesn't have a microphone.
Doesn't have a microphone. Okay.
Speaker, and so he will maybe he can send a message via chat.
He did. What he said is, I'm Muhammad. I work with National Board for Technical Education in Kaduna, Nigeria. NBTE is a quality assurance body for programs of TVET institutions in Nigeria. I'm director of NBTE Center of Excellence in TVET, which is concerned with capacity building for TVET personnel. I'm interested in e-learning technologies.
Okay, fantastic. So I guess maybe I joined only a few minutes before the start and didn't see the chat message, but this applies to everybody that if you are having difficulties with either the sound or your microphone, you can send a message through the chat box that you'll be able to see on the top right of your screen, which should be able to go to everyone, I believe. Next person is Pascal, who will be giving lots more time to talk to later, but just briefly, Pascal.
Yes, so my name is Pascal. I live in France. I am the president of the Connected Schools NGO, and we've been running a project in Cambodia, Asia, for the last five years, and it's about, let's say, new tools to improve TVET in emerging countries. I'm done.
Fabulous. Thanks, Pascal. And I think Ramon is the last person in the list. So Ramon, is the same questions to you?
Yes. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect.
Yes. My name is Ramon. I am in Asunción, in Paraguay, in South America, and I work for the Ministry of Education. I'm an expert, and right now advising the Ministry of Education in TVET in the development of TVET policies and programs. My interest in this forum and this discussion about the use of ICT in TVET is that we are developing strategies on that topic. So I'm very excited to be able to join this forum. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ramon. I guess our aim with this, the WebEx, is really to try and bring out more specific examples of the use of technology to support TVET, and also to be able to demonstrate some of those to you live, or at least show you through the WebEx system how these can work. So our guest speaker or presenter today will be Pascal Mabille, who runs Connected Schools in Cambodia, and I think this is it's a very powerful model for how technology can be used in a very cost-effective way to bring high-quality learning to areas where otherwise they just wouldn't have access to those kinds of teachers. So I think let's start probably by giving Pascal a little bit of space to explain how his model works, and hopefully to actually show you what he's been working on, and then we can take it in turns, I guess, to discuss some specific uses that we have of ICT for supporting our programs, and to look at some of the issues around those, and to allow everyone a chance to ask questions of each other. So, Pascal, are you ready to make a presentation?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I am. So, thank you for the introduction, Nick. Can everybody see my screen? So there is a picture of Cambodia.
Not at the moment, am I?
So what am I supposed to do? I guess I have to share first, or I thought Matt was going to enable the sharing.
Yeah.
So share.
I passed the presenter role to you, and I was hoping that it would now be possible. Can you click on share my desktop or share on? Yes,
Yeah.
Now it's coming.
Just did it. Okay, let me know. Now the picture should be on.
Yes, it's coming through.
Okay, I do not see. Of course, it's impossible for me to see the other participants are all seeing it. Shall we do a quick check before I jump into the presentation, or can I assume that everybody can see my screen?
I think so. I think we all can see it.
Yeah, I think everyone.
Okay, great. So I'll jump into it. I'll try to be synthetic. So we have been, like I said, we've been operating in Cambodia for the last 5 years. So our mission as an NGO is to improve vocational training of disadvantaged youth in emerging countries, of course with the aim of improving their professional insertion, i.e. enabling them to find a job, even if it's a very basic job, because we're targeting very often illiterate or school dropouts. So it's about very basic things. As you can see at the bottom of the slide, the topics we are talking about are things like sewing, motorbike repair, hairdressing, welding, repairing air conditioning, computer basics, electricity, house wiring, etc. They are called short trainings in Cambodia. They last 4 months, and they are given by the Ministry of Labor and Vocational Training. We not own the training center, partners with the local. Okay. Without going into all kinds of details about how we got there, one of the findings is back in 2006 was that in many emerging countries, and in particular in Cambodia, most TVET teachers lack either technical skills, and the reason is that they come fresh from university, they have been bombarded in this provincial training center, but they really have never worked in the real world. Another type of profile was, on the contrary, the local TVET center director contracts the training to a local professional, typically a motorbike repair guy who has a shop around the corner. In this case, the guy knows the job, but he's not a teacher, so he lacks some fundamental pedagogical skills. So our strategy was to give, and of course we are in a world where we cannot afford to bring those people, those teachers, those hundreds or thousands of teachers that are up there back to the capital for 2 years of training. So the question is, dealing with the economical and budget restrictions, how can we bring those types of teachers significantly up and enable them to operate at the best national level through, let's say, IT tools for the heck of this conversation. So far, is my voice still clear enough for everybody?
Yep, you're sounding good to me.
Okay, Ramon in Paraguay can hear as well?
Yeah, I think Lisa's
Okay.
Probably Pascal, if you
I just move on.
communicate with the group and Pascal, maybe the chat box is the best way for quick responses to these kinds of questions. That's okay.
Okay.
Otherwise, Pascal, I think it's going well, so keep going.
Okay. So the strategy relies on 4 or 5 points. The main point is we video record the country's best TVET teachers in local language. And again, we're talking for vocational education, so we record both the theory and the practice. The second thing is, and obviously with that, we're going to have a database of videos. Actually, we also edit all kinds of additional material like exercises, course outline and description, lab equipment description, quiz, and things like that. But the fundamental point is to video record the best TVET teacher, and specifically in his workshop when he's showing the practice. Second, we go out to these TVET centers out there in the provinces and we install some basic distance learning equipment, as you'll see, fundamentally a few projectors and a computer. Third, we connect the training centers to the internet. We started initially back in 2007 by ourselves installing antennas, but now in Cambodia there are plenty of ISPs providing internet, so we just ensure that the training center has internet. Fourth, we organize some conference calls as a complement to the videos. In other words, the videos will probably accomplish 80% of the job. However, you cannot answer all kinds of questions, all the questions in the video. And so we want to enable provincial teachers, and when I say provincial, I don't mean to be putting them down, but in general, it's more the province teachers who need help. We organize conference calls with the reference teacher, usually in the capital, let's say in the best technical institute that we have selected, and then we enable them to get some online tutoring on a weekly basis. So typically every topic has one conference every week. So let's say motorbike repair will be on Wednesday at 2 o'clock. All the teachers of motorbike repair who are interested shall join Wednesday at 2 o'clock. The reference teacher will be there to answer your questions. And that is an online live complement to the video. And finally, of course, we provide some training on the teachers who are using our project. Essentially, it's basic trainings on how to use the computer, but very basic, how to launch it, how to launch Skype, how to access a video, typically half a day. Okay, so now I move on, and this is our database at the end of, let's say, 3 or 4 years of content creation. So if I click on it, this is going to be the real text for this exercise. Okay, so now I've got the database on my computer. Here it comes as professional trainings. We've also added English, but typically you can have professional trainings, academic type trainings, behavioral type trainings. So of course we have been concentrating on the professional trainings. This is how it comes. We're now up to 14 topics recorded. I hope everybody can see. We have motorbike repair, sewing, makeup and hairdressing, computer basics, internet and email, computer repair, electricity, house wiring, electrical motor, air conditioning, car electrical. We'll also have a few agriculture trainings because we also facilitate training in the community. Now, because we are somewhat short in time, I'll go directly to 2 examples, one in motorbike repair and one in sewing. This is how the database is structured. So for every topic, you have the list of lessons. In this case, you have general stuff, safety, cylinders, sanity, small right engine, left engine, carburetor, etc. We also provide the course outline that details what's in each lesson. And then you have the theory lessons in video, the practice lessons in video. We also have added some quiz, some Q&A, the Q&A between the conferences between the teachers, that's the questions and answers they've been asking themselves. And then additional reference documents, typically useful websites that we can find and are pre-identified for the teacher. I'm going to jump into an example. So today we're going to see the cylinder head practice. So I click there. And now I've got cylinder head. So in cylinder head we've recorded the Suzuki and the Honda model. I go into the Suzuki model. We have 3 parts. So let's say today we're on part 2, and now typically the video should play, and okay, so at least on my screen it's showing. Okay, so you've got the message obviously, and then so that will be, we'll be going and diving into the details of the cylinder, the theory part. Then another one would be how to repair the cylinder head. Click on the video, it comes. And so then Guy will be explaining how he's repairing it. Okay? And then if we go into another example, just for ladies, although of course ladies are also entitled to repairing motorbikes. So it's an example with sewing. Same thing, you have all the lessons of sewing for the basic stuff. So you have basic sewing techniques, measuring and drawing patron, preparing the cloth, shirt models, trousers models, office clothes models, etc. So let's assume today we want to see the shirt model. So you have shirt models, double neck and hand, narrow neck, crease sheet, double neck and hand shirt. Now we're into the double neck and hand, part 1. Okay, and so the lady introduces herself, and now I'm jumping ahead. Today it's the lesson on how to draw patron of the shirt. Okay, so I don't know how it went, how the sharing went. Am I still on? Oh, very well, good. Excellent. So of course, I don't have time to go into the whole database, but hopefully you got the idea. Okay, now just some people might be thinking, but gee, I mean that requires a lot of expensive equipment, so I thought I'd give you a quick explanation. Now I'm sharing again my PowerPoint. I hope it's on. Okay, so the equipment needed in a TVET center is really not much. I mean, technology. I used to say the good thing about technology is the longer you wait, the better it gets. So now we actually can get rid of the computers altogether in the teacher workshop, because now we have got new LED projectors with integrated media player. So what we do is we give, let's say we have a training center that has 4 workshops. Let's say one for sewing, okay, whatever. If they have 4, so they have 4 teachers. You give them 2 projectors. 2 teachers can share 1 projector. And those would be typically costing around, $600. Although they're still a bit more expensive at the moment. The only problem with LED, the luminosity, the brightness, is still probably a little low, but it's improving every year. And then what you could do is really, the sewing teacher is only interested in her stuff for sewing. The motorbike repair guy is only interested in his video lessons for motorbike. So what we decided to do is to load on the USB, to have a motorbike USB, and then to have a sewing USB, to have an air conditioning USB with all the videos on that particular topic. And that reduces the cost that you're down to $8, and then they can just use their stuff on the LED projectors, and you don't need to meet the computer anymore. So now in the center you just provide one internet access, ideally. Although if you didn't have it, you could still run your videos because they're running on your USB. And then one shared computer for the center to enable all 4 teachers to participate in the tutoring conference calls, and also, of course, to search educational content on the web. This way, the total cost for TVET Center is down to around $1,800. In the case of 4 workshops, of course. All right? Oh, the internet went down.
Oh.
It's back now. Okay, shall I continue then?
Was just for one side. I think everybody else heard fine.
Okay, so I shall continue, right?
Yes, do continue.
Okay, so very quickly now a few results. We've done the project. We've equipped 8 training centers in Cambodia. Throughout Cambodia, you can see. So Battambang, Pusat, Siem Reap, etc. We've trained 38 teachers through using the database and the tool. We've trained over 1,200 students over the last 2 years. It's not we, it's the teachers, right? One very important thing with that is the teacher remains in control. The project is not about replacing the local teacher. It's just to enable him to use, best-in-class tools, but he's still in control. In other words, he's not meant to just run the video and go drink a coffee. Of course, he's still in charge of the class, and he should be alternating, little 3-minute bits and pieces of video, and then stop the video, ask the students questions, answers, you want to play back something, etc. So it's very important and vital that the teacher remains in control. And we've held about 32 distance tutoring conferences just this year. The results, so we've run lots and lots of questionnaires both for the teachers and the students. We've asked them subjectively first for the teachers to assess the usefulness of the whole thing. So the 3 key services being, we provide the internet, we provide the video conferences, and we provide all these videos. On a scale from 0 to 10, how do you evaluate? And the average here shows that just about everything they score higher than 8 out of 10. So obviously very positive feedback. The other thing we ask them is, how do you assess the impact of, you teachers, how do you self-assess the impact of this project on your motivation, your competency, your pedagogy, and overall the understanding of the student? So here you have 2 curves on a scale from 0 to 10, before the project and after the project. And clearly you can see a very positive profile where the average is jumping from 6 to 8.5. And finally, we also, of course, run many interviews to the students and questionnaires. 100% of the students interview much prefer when the teacher uses the video. To the questions why, they say because we find the videos are clearer, more detailed than a traditional lesson. We also hear and see better thanks to the projector and the speakers. And 100% think that the combination of the videos and the live teacher explanation raises their attention level and participation. They're also there to ask more questions. Then, of course, the next question is, okay, what's the true impact? In other words, at the end of the training, is the student indeed better trained? That's the key question, right? You could say, I love the videos, but in the end, I'm still unable to retain my motivation. So that was a tough part for us. So we had to run exams because the Cambodia does not have for TVET short trainings any national level exams. So we had to develop the exams ourselves for a bunch of trainings like motorbike, sewing, electricity, and computer basics. And because we did not have any history of previous results, we had to run the exams in the centers that had our project and go to other places that did not use our project and compare. Of course, we had to select TVET centers that were comparable in terms of level of equipment in the lab and number of students and things like that. Altogether, we ran 24 exams to evaluate 343 students this year. And so you can see the results. The examination score for the people using our project was 67.5%, and the ones not using our project was 55.7%. So the overall improvement is 22%. So, I'm an engineer. I'm not an education guy. I think when I talk to people who are teachers, they say, they see the glass half full. They say 22% improvement in 1 year is pretty dramatic. As an engineer, I certainly would love a lot more. So I've set a goal for the team of a 30% improvement this year. That's it.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think that was fantastic. I imagine many of the people listening will be as impressed as we are with what you've done. I thought, given that what the nice thing about a detailed presentation like you've made is that people understand enough often that they want to ask more detailed questions. So I thought maybe we would have a short question and answer, see what people have to say about it. I mean, I guess from my side, it looks amazing. I'm quite interested. The devil being in the detail. This looks to me like something that every country, or developing countries particularly, could and should have. And it looks like you've had kind of great success with it. I guess understanding some of the limitations in terms of making it work on a larger scale, making it work internationally, and it's sort of your secret sauce. What is it? What does it take to really make this work? Would be really from my side.
Maybe I can say.
Let other people ask questions too. Oh, just to say before you start, if people want to ask questions, you'll see in the participants list box right at the bottom there's a button marked raise hand. So we can't all have our microphones on at the same time, or it becomes a disaster. So if you want to ask a question to Pascal, click on the raise hand button. We'll see a little hand symbol, and that way Max will make your speaker come live, your microphone come live when it's your turn to ask a question. Okay? Thanks a lot. Pascal, over to you.
Yeah, thanks. I just wanted to add one thing. We are a rather small NGO. Our budget has been $70,000 for this project per year, and this includes both the content creation piece and the project deployment piece. In other words, the local ministry, unfortunately, didn't pay any of the equipment. So that's on the, to give people an idea of what kind of budget is needed. Let's say it's half and half. Half for the content creation piece and half for deploying the project in the training centers, training the teachers, running the exams. Another piece of information is, in a way, we are frustrated that we're only up to, like I said, 1,000 students, and the problem is only Cambodian people speak Khmer. So now we are now contemplating going to Latin America, or to whatever we do now will be recorded in Spanish, and therefore if you do some good job at recording some good topics in Bolivia or Paraguay, ideally, of course, with a nuance about accents, it could be used, from Nicaragua to Ecuador, etc. So one video could have a much greater impact on many more students, and hence have a better economical justification for the project.
Fantastic. Well, I think we've got a question through from Ramon in Paraguay. Certainly, he should be a person in a position to understand the situation there. I don't know if you can see that in your chat box, Pascal. Okay.
Okay. Oh yeah.
Just to read it out to everyone else, he's saying it's an excellent idea for blended learning. His question is, what were the main challenges you found to use this strategy, from the teacher's preparation, technology availability, training materials, etc.?
The main challenge has been, it has been training the teachers, let's say, over again. I mean, one of the things is initially we trained the teachers on the use of the database, on the use of the computer to, launch guides and things like that. And we thought that was it. Everybody said they're very excited. Later we found we had to go back and train them again, not only on the technology, but actually we had to walk them through the content. And, lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 18, what's in there. So that but they are, it's they are coming up now. Really, this is the third year, and we see them operating better now. So it's just, of course, you cannot. Even if you did that in France, you would not expect all the teachers to just jump in and do it, from one day to the next. So this has been one challenge. Yeah, I think that probably has been the major one. And then, of course, yeah, I mean, we've had some technical challenges like electricity or internet down. So the conference calls are more problematic. Sometimes, yeah, another thing is the teachers know they have the conferences, and sometimes they don't join. Or let's say 6 people were supposed to join and only 3 joined. So we go back to the other 3 and say, why didn't you join? And they say, because I didn't have any questions. So we said, but then maybe we should stop this conferencing thing. They say, no, because sometimes I do have a question. But we couldn't get them to join if they don't have a question. So it's a funny thing. And by the way, Ramon, I'll be in Paraguay end of July. So you might want to
Yeah. I was just putting a reminder to people that you can use that raise hand button if you want to ask questions. Are there more people with questions to ask? Okay, I think you're on the chat. Yeah, you can also ask questions on the chat, and Pascal, maybe you can just read out the question before you answer it.
Okay, the question from Lisa is, I was wondering whether you incorporate any sustainability elements in the videos that teach students to consider the impact on the environment. Okay, yes for the agriculture, no for the others. We really are not the teachers ourselves. So one of the key things of the process is really the identification of the best in class or one of the best in class teachers in the country. And then we will really go and record him. If he has a strong focus on environmental stuff, we will capture that, but it doesn't wrong.
Okay, and Ken has raised his hand with a question. So, Ken, if you can ask Pascal your question. Ken, can you hear us?
He's also put it via chat, so I can read that.
Oh, okay, I couldn't see that on my chat. But yeah, please, Max, if you can read that out.
It says, "Hi, wonderful presentation. Thank you, Pascal. I am Ken from UNESCO Bangkok. My question would be about measuring the improvement of students and assessing their learning. Was there any pretest made as well to compare the achievement before and after the intervention? In parentheses, where 22% improvement was recorded for centers that used CS project. Thanks."
Okay, so the answer is no, we do not measure the student's performance in repairing motorbikes when he's joining the center. It probably wouldn't make much sense. He doesn't know anything about motorbike, or maybe he does a little bit. So I would expect in this case 100% improvement, because it's a 4-month training. I mean, if I understood the questions right? So here the 22% measures the improvement between students having the traditional, regular 4-month short trainings on how to repair motorbike, the way it's been run for the last years, and the same trainings with teachers using our system. I hope this is clear. Did I answer the question?
Hopefully. I guess we'll get it.
It says, "Okay, thanks," on the chat.
Okay, good.
Looks like we've got some more questions coming through over the chat. Question from Syed Ahmed. Do you teach life skills? And from saying interesting as an example of technology and teacher capacity building, but is there any way teachers can create content or plans for this in the future? I guess I'm assuming that means, you know, the teachers taking forward more of the content creation and management of the system themselves to build something.
Yeah, that would be our dream, right? That would be our dream. Yeah, I mean, for us, all we do as tools provider, we give them this internet access, we give them a computer, and we hope in the future that the ministry, you know, and the ADB actually, the Asia Development Bank, will fund more computers in their TVET training centers, and will educate them on how to create content. I doubt that individual teachers will create videos because it requires some, you know, video technician skill, like not only the camcorder, but also, I mean, it's difficult for a teacher to record himself when he installs an electricity in a house without a video technician. But it's certainly very easy for him to create PowerPoint, I mean, like we all do. So, but for that, the only thing we do and we provide is we have also recorded computer basics training. So he can, you know, TVET teachers could also just walk through teach himself by watching our computer basics video, which teaches how to use Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Internet, and email, and then with all that, he should be set to start creating. So we have recorded all these topics as well, but I did not have time to walk you through them.
Okay, I mean, I think it is such an interesting project that it may be worth continuing just a little bit more before we open up to a wider discussion. I mean, what is one of my sort of things looking at this is, I don't know how many participants are aware of the Khan Academy, which is a very successful online learning platform, a bit like a sort of YouTube, but for academic education. You know, really the world of TVET, I think vocational education could hugely benefit from something like this. I mean, in some ways it's just a shame that because Pascal started in Khmer, this has already a limited audience. But something like this in English and Spanish, and you know, which could later be adapted to local languages, seems to me to have huge potential. So it would be interesting for me to hear from other participants whether, you know, what do you think are the possibilities and the limitations of using this approach in your country. I mean, for instance, Ramon, I know Paraguay a little, and Pascal will be going there. It seems a sort of an ideal approach. What would it, you know, what would be the difficulty in having a Spanish version and really getting this to all the teachers and even through the internet directly to students in your country?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, hi Ramon, yes. Sorry to put you on the spot, but I think, you know...
I think the main problem we still have here is the technology access, and that would be one of our main challenges, make sure that the schools have a good internet access and the teachers are trained to use this. Because as Pascal said, one thing is to use this technology to teach, and another thing is about the specific contents, about the specialty they are training. So I think technology would be one of our main challenges here.
Yeah, if I may, just one comment. Yeah, when you say technology, I guess you refer to the providing internet in remote centers, and or providing a couple of projectors in the centers, or both.
Yeah, I think, Pascal, my assumption is, as soon as the word internet crops up, for an awful lot of people, you know, they know that it's of them to schools. But my understanding was that you could do quite a bit of what you've done with DVDs and standalone laptops in the classroom. Is that right?
Yes. Obviously, all the video stuff. Like I said, it's on the USB. You just send the USB key to the teacher locally. We carry it to him. We have opted for the projector type thing. DVD, of course, could also be done. Although DVD are like limited to 4 gig. They're double layer 8 gigabytes. So you may need a couple of them for one topic. But yes, but the good thing about the projector, obviously, is the size of the screen. Everybody can see well, and with a couple of loud speakers, so they can hear well. But yes, with that, even if you don't have internet, you can do. I would say you can go 80% of the way.
Okay, fantastic. Anthony, could you ask your question to Pascal, or make a general point to the forum?
Anthony, can you hear us? Can you speak?
It seems maybe there's a problem with Anthony's sound. If you type your question, Anthony, into the chat box sent to everybody, we can read it out to Pascal, and everyone can see it. Okay. Well, I think we only have 10 minutes left of this event, and thank you all for being such active participants. It's, I think we really could probably do with another hour, but we will have to wrap up in 10 minutes or so. So I thought maybe now is a good time if people have other kind of questions to raise, or would like to be specific about sort of technologies that have really worked in the projects and the institutions they work for. This would be a good time for that. So either by chat or raise your hand, and we'll turn to you. Okay.
Well, for myself, I can just say I'm very eager to know of other initiatives and specifically of other types of content that have been created other than text. In other words, tutorials or videos or games or topics.
Yeah.
For topics of vocational training before.
Fantastic. So that's a great request. Anthony has got his hand up again. Let's see if we can bring him on. Okay. Right, Anthony, can you speak this time? I think we still can't hear you, unfortunately. Yeah. I think, Anthony, if we can't hear you, send your question or comment by chat, and we'll take it that way. Otherwise, are there other people with who would like to tell us about their work or ask questions more? Okay. Well, yeah. just do click on the raise hand button if you want to speak, or type your questions into the chat box. I mean, I guess building on what Pascal was saying about their use of video technology for teacher training, to which I think is a very effective way of reaching large numbers, out of one concerted effort. Here at Teach a Man to Fish, we've certainly found it quite useful using internet-based kind of communications and these WebEx type conferencing with trying to do teacher training. This working with an organization called People in Need in Afghanistan, and really the security on the ground in Afghanistan means that it's just not really viable for us to come and directly do teacher training in the field. But through having effectively an online course, which does involve a certain amount of text material, but then the capacity to talk that material through and to both show patients and the way that we're doing now through WebEx Skype means that we're actually able to conduct a certain amount of that training remotely to bring teacher training to an area which otherwise would really not be able to access it. So that's a sort of a specific case from what we've been working on at the moment.
Nick, the voice was choppy at times. Could you just quickly tell us again, in Afghanistan, what was the topic and what was the setup?
Okay, so for Afghanistan, the topic was how to run school enterprises effectively to support vocational education. So our model that we work with around the world is that if an education organization, a vocational center, can actually run some real businesses that really try to make money, then the students who participate in those businesses will not just get an understanding of the technical theory, but also learn how to actually make a profit out of those skills they're learning and how to run a business. So both the practical side of running a business, but also the sort of attitudes and values and behaviors, the soft skills needed to be successful. So we were doing training for an organization in Afghanistan on that approach to vocational and enterprise education, using e-conferencing to be able to have a more interactive learning experience than either just sending text through e-learning, which would be a possibility, or just through phone calls. And to date, we've seen that does look like it's effective. It is more limited in reach than other internet-based models, which like these mass open courses, but certainly in terms of quality, it allows us to provide a quality learning experience for teacher training Was that clearer, Pascal?
Yes, until the very last 20 seconds it was, so good enough. Thank you very much. So, presumably you did it from England directly with e-conferencing with Afghanistan, correct?
Yes, that's right. And it did, I guess one of the limitations still is for a quality connection, it still was necessary for people to come from the more rural areas to a more urban area to benefit from a good enough connection. But these are our limitations still. Okay. I think we've had another question via the chat from Anthony Ogba. It says, "You're learning for me too. I must commend you all for the conference. The connectivity is a challenge, and my thinking at the moment is to explore the inclusion of digital satellite TV, which is more widespread. Does anyone have any experience in the use of digital TV as a way of teaching for vocational education? You can either chat or raise your hands, and we'll pass over the microphone.
I don't. But can I go for a comment?
Yeah, please do. Anyone else, please raise your hand if you do want to join in. Yeah.
One, the comment here would be that, obviously digital TV is a great example of reaching out to many people. One of the limitations, though, is that you reach everybody at the same time. So schedule-wise, basically, if the TV that you're interested in is at Wednesday at 6 p.m., that's got to be on at that time. I think initially we started off with trying to go for a synchronous system where the reference teacher in the capital was going to teach to the province teachers live, but matching agendas for all these provincial teachers was unrealistic. So that's why we went to let's give them the videos, and then they just run it when they want and how they want it.
Yeah. I mean, actually, something in between that idea of broadcast satellite TV and what you've been doing, Pascal. I came across a French organization also, which was looking at I think digital satellite TV, but with digiboxes, so effectively hard drive recorders, so the material would then be recorded and could be used for education whenever the institution wanted. So that's sort of a halfway house, maybe for areas where satellite internet might be too expensive, but satellite TV as a way of receiving the information might be more effective.
Yeah, certainly.
Okay, well, I don't know whether everyone's still here and paying attention, or and there are any other questions. It seems at the moment there aren't, and we have pretty much come to the end of our time period. Max would like a little chance to speak. Max, over to you.
Just quickly, because Helen also raised her hand. So I just wanted to thank Pascal for the presentation. It was really interesting and impressive. I still have to think about this person from Madagascar who said, well, we bought all the smart boards, gave them to teachers, everybody was excited, but no, now they don't use them anymore because they are it's too much for them. And here we saw how with 4 different kind of channels and a very clear set of instructional material, I think in that using it that way, teachers are not overwhelmed by the possibilities. So that's something to consider, to give them a very concise set of instructional tools, at least at the beginning, until maybe later they start surfing YouTube and downloading videos and using them in teaching as well. But I think that was a very good presentation to show how they also need to have a very specific set of material. Thanks.
Wonderful. And if we can bring Helen into the conversation, Max, I think you're controlling that, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay, Helen, please speak.
Hi, sorry, I'll be really quick at this stage, but I just think it's really important in the context of all the exciting developments that are happening to also focus on the development of capacity in developing countries to make their own content, and that's a slower route, but I think it's quite important. The idea of developing programs within the TVET system that students can learn how to make the videos, how to create the websites, and that means engaging with the TVET system itself and having programs that are accredited within national frameworks and so on. and it's a small but I think quite useful part of what needs to be done. And it's also in our own experience what countries are looking to do. And I think that educational institutions in countries that have well-developed ICT systems need to engage with that.
No, I think that's a wonderful point. I mean, it's clearly going to require a lot of people with capacity to bring this into a country, and building that capacity, particularly amongst some of the young people who are meant to be benefiting from vocational education, would seem a great way of extending the benefits of this kind of approach to more people. I guess one last thought that occurs to me is that how, Pascal may be doing this in Cambodia. Like Helen says, other institutions around the world are thinking about doing it in their own countries. I wonder if anyone's got any thoughts on how this can be kind of coordinated to be more effective. It sort of often seems to me that every country trying to do things slightly differently in their own way, not always learning lessons from other countries or not always cooperating, can just make the process longer and more painful and more expensive than it would be otherwise. Does anyone know of any existing efforts to cooperate between countries, either bilaterally or multilaterally, on developing these kind of approaches?
Personally, no, I don't. But just what we're doing today, to me, seems like a very good way of sharing. I mean, if this could somehow be institutionalized so that, next week India is on, I mean, Jyoti is on, next week Raman is on, I mean, whoever wants to share some things, some best practices, examples, that would be terrific, and then we can all learn, and including like I have documented my lessons learned. We could be sharing these things. But I don't know if within UNEVOC it could be, such conferences could be institutionalized.
Okay. Well, I think maybe my question is one to take to the full conference. Just before we wrap up, there was a last question from Jyoti and comments from Ramon saying that there are experiences of teacher exchanges in TVET between the Mercosur countries. I guess maybe Ramon, you could post something on the via email to the conference about how that relates specifically to ICT. Jyoti's question was asking how do you integrate development entrepreneurship skills amongst these learners?
I've seen that question. Can I guess it's for me, right?
Yeah.
Can I give it a try?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jyoti, hopefully you can hear me. Actually, two things. I think this is a very, very important point, and I think we all here are convinced about how important developing entrepreneurship skills are for our youth. So two things. One is we are actually right now, that's one of the topic we're dealing with right now. We call it financial literacy. It's very, very basic things for youth or women who want to start their own business on the street, etc. And it's really a little bit of accounting, but it's very much on behaviors like, okay, you just borrowed $200, here comes your mother-in-law and she wants 50 because she wants to buy something for her. So we're recording like theater scenes, little scenes like actors. They, one pretends she's the lady wanting to start a business, the other one acts as the mother-in-law begging for $6 and things like that. So we're doing this right now. And we will add them to the database. The database, my dream would be like professional skills, like I've shown, academic skills, math, Spanish, whichever country you're in, all the basic stuff, at least learning how to read, write, and count. And the other one would be to have a section on soft skills. And entrepreneurship would be probably the primary one. Others would include, discipline at work, respect for others, gender sensitivity, and things like that. The second thing is if we embark for our next project with the Fundación Paraguaya, clearly this topic will be very high on the list of the first things to record. And I'm not specifically, I'm not an expert in this, but it would probably be a mixture of, teacher trainings about entrepreneurship skills, as well as recording, scenes. I don't know if that's the right English word. But anyway, it will be making the best use of what Fundación Paraguaya already has. That's it. Oh, is the conference over?
No, it's not. Technically, it's still running. Maybe there's a connection problem in London right now.
Okay. Chelsea, is there a way you could say whether you were able to hear my answer? Okay, yeah, great. Thank you. So let's keep exchanging, because I'm very interested to understand also what's happening in India. I think India is very advanced also in these topics.
One thing I'd like to say on behalf of UNEVOC is that we are actually developing a promising practices database. So we're trying to get our UNEVOC centers and others to submit what they see as promising practices and develop a database out of that, so that you could see, okay, so there's this example of how this kind of ICT is used in that country, and we could go and ask them about how they did it and more information about it, and just as an example. So that's something we will start very soon, and of course what's necessary is then that people actually submit the information, but it only needs to be a short thing, a short description, in my view, of what's been done and what the effect was, how it was effective, and maybe also about the shortcomings and why things don't work out exactly as they were planned.
Exactly. So you could be providing like a template of what's the information we need and others want to hear about.
That's the idea. We're at an early stage of developing that, but it will soon, definitely this year we'll spread the word about it. Actually, Aldrich has sent a link to what we currently have there, but that's only a beginning.
Okay.
So where's Nick?
When did you say you were?
This year, definitely.
Okay. Excellent. It looks like UK is disconnected, right?
It's not saying anything. They did have connection problems in between, so maybe that has happened again. Let me see. So there's also been feedback from Helen via chat. Everybody can read that, and by Giodi.
Yeah,
Raman. So people are
sent an email link which I'm browsing through. Please may you read the link of the promising practice that the UNEVOC website. Excellent.
And all those links will actually we can copy that and put that into a wrap-up post in our online discussion, so that the others can also see that. And we're trying to record this. I'm not sure because the audio may not come out well. Pascal, can you share your PowerPoint?
Yeah, you bet, no problem at all.
Perfect.
I'll send. Who do I send it to?
You could share it on the online discussion board, maybe.
Oh, you mean right now or what?
Later today. You can also send it to me and we'll put it up.
Because I want to. There were many more slides behind, so I need to just cut those in. Yeah, I'll do that. So you're saying on the discussion board, where do I see that?
Or
on the same conferencing, or
exactly? Yes, the eForum conference. Or just send it to forum@univocunesco.org to Lisa.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll send it to you.
Yes, perfect. Okay. So Nick is chatting that they are actually they are still there, but we can't obviously can't hear them. So
yeah, those underdeveloped countries across the channel. No wonder.
Okay. So
hey Nick, the continent is isolated.
But very good. I think there's been many thanks messages, and I also see this as a very good start in some.
I certainly want to thank you all very, very, very much for letting me this is great to me. Thank you very much, Nick, Michelle, Max, Lisa. Thank you.
Okay, we're trying on another computer. Can you hear us better now?
Yes, wonderful.
Yeah. Okay, we're back just in time for the end.
Good.
Likewise, thank you so much to everyone for taking part. It's been really stimulating. I think we could really have carried on for much longer, but we are scheduled to finish now. But please continue to share all your comments through the forum. Definitely, please share all the resources or links to practical examples of promising practices you know of. And seeing as this has worked quite well, hopefully this is something that will happen again as part of the UNEVOC e-conferences. So we'll say goodbye for now. Please do read. There's been a bit of activity in the chat box, so please follow some of those links and read some of those comments. But for now, I think we'll sign off from the UK. And thank you so much all for your time and being part of this event, and Pascal in particular for presenting so well.
Yeah, thank you so much, and I really want to return my thanks to you, Nick, and to the team there, Rochelle, and the people at UNEVOC, Lisa and Max. I mean, I'm really thankful for giving me the opportunity to talk. Cheers. Thanks.
Thank you also from us, Pascal
thank you very
and Rachel.
much.
All right. Goodbye.
And Nick, of course. Okay, thanks. Goodbye.
Thank you, Nick. Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.